goal kicker, Taylor Walker, with a welcome off. Here's Rosselli. Rosselli kicks the goal.
Handball to the excitement machine, McLeod. Left foot goal.
Oh, don't tell me.
He's a superstar.
Don't tell me. Oh! He's yet to kick an AFL goal. Oh, the velvet curtain.
Walker, oh, he's a colossus. He's kicked 5. He's been a handful. He's been the difference.
To cover himself in glory.
He's coming back.
And got there.
Welcome to the Proper Crows podcast mid-season review. Thank you very much for joining us, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching on YouTube at the moment. Thank you for your support. My name's Ben. Of course, not just me here today. I am joined by Dom. Dom, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Good to be back after missing last week.
Absolutely. It was good to miss the Luke Pedler crash out. Apologies are in order, but we'll get to that a bit later on. And, of course, Dyl, how are you, mate?
Good, mate, good. I'm just enjoying the weekend without having to worry about some fucking Crows football, so it's been nice.
Absolutely. So today we'll be going through the season so far. We'll be looking forward to the second half of the season and an early preview of next week's game against Richmond. We're going to crack straight into it. Our pre-season predictions, which we did back in February. We're going to start off with our Crows ones and see if we have any egg on our face or see where we no ball, basically. So the best and fairest deal, start of the year, you said Dorse. Seems like it was probably the pretty easy option to go with Dorse, to be perfectly honest. Do you reckon he's pretty on track?
Are you calling me gutless? Is that what
No.
you're doing now?
No, not at all, mate. Just saying you saw the where the money was and you went for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be top at the moment. It'd be very close between him and Keezy. So, no, I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. And Dom, yourself and me, we went with Jake Saligo. Probably not turned out as much as what we thought it would. I mean, he's not having a horrible year, but he's probably not having the year that we both envisioned that he was going to have.
To be fair, he started the year exactly how I thought he was going to, and then he's just kind of slowed down real aggressively. Because, like, round 1, he had 29 and a goal. Round 2, he had 27 and 2 goals. Round 3, he had 32. Even against the Gold Coast away from home, he had 26, I think. And then I reckon it was gather round. He just decided, you know what, I'm gonna call it, which also happened to be the week I bought him in fantasy. So thanks, mate. But yeah, I'm not embarrassed by the call by any stretch. But yeah, looking back, it's probably not the greatest move, but I'll back him in to have a big second half still and make it look a bit better than it does at the moment.
100%. I mean, Dorse, yeah, like Dill said, Dawson Keezy probably a bit hard to catch from where we are at the moment, but he's certainly capable of having a big second half of the year. So we'll hold our hats on that and circle back around to this at the end of the year and see how we go. Most improved players. Dom, I'll start with you here, mate. You had Luke Nankervis as your most improved.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Nix. Yeah, look, if he was playing AFL, that might help my case here, but obviously he's been, well, I think he's only played 3 games this year. He just can't get into the side. So he's tearing up the sandful. So, I mean, technically he's improved, but yeah, not my greatest call, unfortunately. I still think he'll be part of our 23 within the next couple of years, but yeah, definitely I think I went a bit too early on that one.
Yeah, he's one of those players just sitting on the fringe. I agree with you. I do love Nank. I hope he does break into the squad a bit more, but just maybe not quite there yet. But like you, I think he'll probably be in there in the next couple of years. Dill, I'm going to circle back to you, and I've got a quote from episode 1 where you said that Josh Rosselli was going to be the most improved, and I quote, "This is going to piss few people off, I think." Where are you standing on that at the moment, mate? Because you said you were coming for heads if he pulled his head in and had a good season, so the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, just a quick little, shout out. There's a few receipts I've got around saying that he was fucking gutless and all this sort of stuff, but he's pulled his head in and he showed what he can do. So it's a bit of it's a pretty big middle finger to a lot of people, and I couldn't be happier that he's come and showing what he can do. And there's a lot more to come, I think, because this kid's going to be an absolute star. So I'm very, very happy that he's really come and shown what he can do. Because between him and Woz, it's probably the most improved, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. Would you go as far to say it was a prove it year for Josh Rochelle and he stepped up?
Uh, I wouldn't say it was a 417 prove it year like Nixie was last year, but but um, prove it year, I would say no. I wouldn't say yes, it was a prove it year, but I think there was a lot riding on it, and it would have been a bit of a disaster for him if he didn't come out and do what he's done.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree there. Now, my most improved I had is Joshy Worrell. I mean, he had a decent bar set as being a very good player. He was obviously coming off an injury coming into this year and limited game time last year, but I reckon I've hit the nail pretty well on the head with this one. Not to pump up my own tyres too much, but he's really solidified himself as one of the better intercept defenders in the game, really, and certainly solidified his spot in our team and playing very, very well in 2025. So hopefully that continues on. Speaking of Josh Worrell, both of you had him for Breakout Player of the Year, and Dom, a quote from the episode was he'll be on the fringe of the 40-man AA squad. What are your thoughts on that? Do you reckon he's still around that mark?
I do. I don't think obviously I don't remember my exact quote, but I think fringe of the 40 man's probably fair. Maybe not quite to that level. But he's a mainstay in the defense now, and he's getting some recognition from Vic Media, which is a pretty good sign that someone's coming along quite nicely. And it's not even just like his intercept work obviously has been incredible this year, along with Mark Keane, which I think probably deserves a bit of a shout out in a minute. But even just his ball use, like he's quite effective with the ball in hand. He's averaging I think 20 touches this year. And again, I'm pretty sure I touched on this at the time when we were talking about it, but he's just made the transition from Duday so seamless that you almost forget Duday played for us, and that sounds harsh because he was a very good player, but having was waiting there and coming in and playing the role to the same effect, if not better, is it can't be understated how important that was to that defense. Because again, he hasn't played a shitload of games. I don't even think he's hit 50 yet, but he seems like he's a calm head back there, which is quite good considering how young the whole back line is, especially the key defender stocks. So I'm very happy with that call, and I think he's definitely on a nice trajectory to definitely make All Australian at some point, if not this year, next year.
Yeah, definitely. And you're spot on. You were mentioning in the pod about him effectively replacing Tom Duday. I had a listen this morning. I think Dyl mentioned that he was going to be in the same vein as Jake Lever. Didn't say it was going to be better, but was going to be in that sort of, cutout of player. Dyl, what do you reckon about Josh Worrell's season this year? Is he still on track for that for you?
Yeah, he's really come out and had a ripping season. So I probably in the same boat as Dom. I'd say be fringe of the squad. He wouldn't be in it, but I think if he can strap together, a good 5 or 6 games in the back end of his season here, he's going to really be in the conversation for the squad. So, no, I'm very happy with how he's progressing, and to be played under 50 games is pretty nuts. But how old is he? 23, 24? I think he's
24. Yeah.
He's 24. So, he's had 6 years in the system, 5 years in the system now, 6 years in the system now. So, he's coming along well, even though it's taken a little bit. He's really starting to show how well he can play footy and how important he is to the system that we use. So, no, it's good. It's good. No, we had Lever leave, we had Duday leave, but we've always had that really good intercept player there, and has just sort of really just slid into the role well, and it's like he's always been there. So couldn't be happier.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, he has only played 44 games. So drafted at the end of 2019, didn't play until 2021. Briefly remember something about them having his car on the oval when they announced his debut. I can't remember exactly what was happening there.
Oh, yeah, that's a weird memory.
They just drove it out there and filled it with something, I think. I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's a memory you just unlocked in my brain. Jesus.
Because I think he came in for the that Saints game, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think up in was it the Saints game up in where was it?
Yeah,
It
in
was a
Cairns, I
St
reckon.
Kilda game. I reckon it was in Cairns.
Cairns.
Yeah.
The Thilthorpe over the head game, I reckon.
Yeah, because like I was reading a little bit on him. Like he got done drink driving and everything when he was younger, when he was 19.
That's
Um,
right.
and he was saying of how important Nix was to getting him to where he is, and that he didn't reckon if he had Matty Nix, he wouldn't even be in the system anymore. So that's a massive credit to where the culture's at as well, and sort of a massive thing to get from that point as a 19-year-old to where he is now, and really show that he wants to play football, he wants to be in the system, he wants to be a professional. It's a big thing to him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm just reading his profile at the moment. It's interesting. In the under-18 championship, he was actually Vic Metro's leading goal kicker. So he was at the other end of the ground for the under-18s and has just turned himself into an intercept marking, rebounding defender, if you don't mind.
Interesting. Well, it does say, like, it says, I remember reading that thing that said he was, well, they said he was, like, the most versatile player that had been in a draft in, like, 3 years. So I guess that makes sense that he's Vic Metro's leading goal kicker and now he's one of the best intercept markers. That's quite funny.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So credit to him, and obviously we hope he has even the same, if not better, second half of the season. Leading goal kicker, this is an interesting chat because we were very unanimous in this. We all said Riley Thilthorpe. We didn't even deliberate about this. We just said Thilthorpe and moved on straight away. As it stands at the moment, we've got Thilthorpe and Fogg tied on 28 at the top. We've got Keys with 25 and Rochelle with 23, Tex with 22. So it's not really clear cut. I think depending where we play Thilth going forward will determine who gets the leading goal kicker at the end of this year. But Dyl, who have you got taking over for leading goal kicker for the second half? Do you reckon Thilth runs away or Fogg pulls away, or even the way Keezy's going at the moment, he could pull away?
Oh, I reckon Thilthorpe might pull away a little bit. Really, Das probably should be leading, but he's had a really quiet couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
no, I think Thilthorpe will, after a bit of a rest, will kick a couple. Because we got a few like matchups coming up, so especially next week. So he might kick 5 or 6 next week, and might really get him to start pulling away, I think. So I've still got Thilthorpe there, but it wouldn't surprise me if Darcy does finish up on top.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. You think it's probably Thilthorpe's to take over if he obviously stays healthy, stays in the team. Like you said, he could kick 10 next week realistically against Richmond with their squad, but we'll see how we go. Noah Bolter will play because it's far away from his curfew, but that's all right. Tom, how about you? Who do you have taken over for the second half of the year?
Oh, I think you're both right. It's probably hard to go past Thiel. If Fogg finds his form again, like Shrimp said, I don't think Thilf is necessarily locked in. But going off recent form, especially if Thilf could kick straight, which is a whole nother conversation, but if he could kick straight, he'd have 40 at the moment, not 28. So I think he's probably should definitely still be favourite. But only thing in Fogg's court is that if him and Thilf are both in the side, most of the time he gets a second defender, not the best defender. So
Yeah.
he's got that going for him at least. But yeah, I think it's hard to look past Thil. I don't think Keys will maintain, but I think it'll be a thing of he'll only ever kick 2 or 3, whereas Thilf and Fogg as well, they'll eventually, they'll have games where they'll kick 5 or 6 and just pull away slightly. So I'd love to see Keezy get up there, but I doubt he's going to have a bag of 5 in him at some point to maintain it kind of thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Just looking at his stats at the moment. So he averages 4 shots basically on goal per game, averaging 2 goals per game. Averaging 1.4 behinds per game, which is apparently ranked as elite. I don't know if that just means he kicks a lot of behinds, so he's ahead of most of the other players, or how they work out what's elite, but
Interesting.
certainly gets the chances.
He just seems, I don't know, there's so many shots at goal he has that you think should be certainties, and then he sprays them.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating, i.e. in Tassie. That one from directly out in front, sprayed it. There's been a couple at home on the hill that he's sprayed, and yeah, I'm still backing him in. I think he'll be fine, and he's probably due the rest as well. To be fair, like the rest of the squad. But yeah, I think it's still if you can't really go past him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You'd be a brave man to bet against him, that's for sure. I think he's still, in terms of the Coleman, he's obviously a little bit behind, but he's still sort of in the market, like around the place. If you're looking at betting, he's, where are we? Paying 34-1. He's the fifth favourite for the Coleman.
Yeah.
I mean, Fogg's right behind him, paying 41 as well. Literally the next person in the line, but
I do just want to that's insane that we potentially have we've got 4 blokes right now on track for 50 goal seasons.
yeah.
That is ridiculous. Not quite 50, I shouldn't say, because we're actually more than halfway through the year. But, having at least 40 goal seasons, having Keys, Rash, Fogg, and Thilf, and it wouldn't shock me if Rank starts putting a few away soon as well. Yeah, that's huge.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. And then even with that as well, Tex could also chime in as well. He's on 20, so he's not too far behind too. Like it's pretty exciting with how potent our forward line can be and the damage that they can do pretty quickly. It's very encouraging.
It's rough for the
forward.
old multi building, I'll tell you that much. 'Cause there's 4 of them you got to choose between to kick 3 or more, but it's a good problem to have, and if it affects my betting, well, that probably is more of a reflection of me, not the club. So
Nah, 100% agree with you there. I'm very much in the same boat, but if it means that we have a forward line that kicks 20 goals a game, then I'm all for it.
Yep, well said.
Absolutely. And well, speaking of betting, we'll move on to the over-under that was set by Sportsbet before the start of the year. It was set at 11.5 wins, and well, halfway through, or just over halfway through, we're already sitting on 9 wins. So we need 3 wins from our run home to go the overs, which we all said pretty unanimously as well. Games against North, West Coast and Richmond to come. You'd hope that we would get the overs on this. If we don't from here, it's going to be a massive failure. But
dude, if we don't,
that, really.
if we don't manage to string together 3 wins in the next 10 weeks, there's going to be some serious conversations to be had.
100%. Yeah.
And I'll be... Oh man, I'll think of something, but it's going to be a generational crash out. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, the crash out for that would not be pretty. If we're sitting here, we might actually disband. If we get to the end of the year and we don't win 3 games from here, we might pull the pod. To be honest,
Genuinely, yeah.
We'll call it a day. Yeah.
They don't deserve to have an entire pod named after them if they're going to fucking can't get 3 wins. We're going to regret this, but I'm standing on business.
Surely we're right from here. Next up, we will move into some general AFL. Our Coleman medal predictions, and Dyl and I with a little bit, well, not egg on our face, but we're not looking as good as what you are, Dom. So you picked Jesse Hogan to win the Coleman, and I mean he is still 10 behind from Jeremy Cameron, but he is sitting second in the Coleman medal race at the moment. How are you feeling about your choice? Do you reckon Jezza might need to do an injury for any chance for anyone to get near him, or how are you feeling?
It's definitely looking that way. I think Jez is pretty unstoppable at the moment. He's in some ripping form. And Hogan's not having a bad year by any stretch, but I think I probably took the easy way out anyway with choosing Hogan. But I think he's kicked, as of recording right now, I think he's kicked 2 because they're playing the Giants at the moment, so he's only 8 down now. But yeah, it's not looking great. I think there'll either need to be some seriously quiet weeks from Jezza or it's probably his to lose as of right now. You think that's pretty safe to say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, Hogan has missed a couple of weeks, so he is actually averaging more goals per game than what Jezza is at the moment. So you can sort of hang your hat on that a bit. But
bang,
yeah, it's probably Jezza's to lose. And Dill, we of course had Nick Larkey in there. That's not exactly going swimmingly.
It is not, no, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we were both pretty keen on North Melbourne's ball movement improving, and well, it just hasn't really improved all that much. And their smalls, Paul Curtis he's not in front of him, but he's probably stealing a few of his goals, and yeah, it's just not worked out really for Nick Larkey. But that's okay, because we don't really care about North Melbourne too much. I'll note that Dom also said, and here's another quote for you, the Crows' tragic version was Riley Thilthorpe winning it. He is also on 28 goals, sitting equal with Nick Larkey, so he's around that same sort of mark.
Like I said, man, he kicks straight. He's on 35 and it's looking alright, but
Just hasn't.
yeah, he just hasn't. It's alright. I'll back him in. He'll string it together towards the end of the year. Probably not, but
He kicks 20 next week, so it's all right. He'll be tied top by next week. It's all right.
yeah, well said.
Moving on to the Brownlow medal, and we could be sitting on the trifecta here, to be perfectly honest. So, Dyl and I both had Dacos. I had Sarong as a sort of chop out because I didn't want to be a basic bitch and just have Nick Dacos. And then Dom said Dawson and Dacos as well. So we could be sitting on the top three here. I mean, we'll talk about Jordan Dawson for a little bit here and just give him some flowers, Dom. You said that it was Crow's bias to say that it was his year. Well, he's come out and said maybe it's not just bias, it could be his year.
Well, I hope so, because, obviously, when I said that, I was backing him in to have a good year, but realistically, I don't think I've actually thought he was going to get near it. But, obviously, he's been... as of right now, it wouldn't shock me if he's leading it. If not, he'll be second to Baz. He's been incredible this year. Even the games where you think that he hasn't impacted, that his stats don't show it. He's impacted almost every game we've played this year. Whether it was going back and kicking 2 goals or floating back against Brisbane and taking that contested mark and kind of showing Josh Dunkley what it's like to try and defend him. He's, Jared Waitley said it best. He's probably the best captain in the comp. Him and Noah Anderson both are incredible, and obviously Crow's tragic in me puts Dawson ahead of Anderson. But yeah, right now he's all Australian captain, and he's at least top 2 in the Brownlow right now, 100%.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Dill, how are you feeling about your Nick Dacos call? It's pretty hard to go past him other than probably Bailey Smith and Jordan Dawson, but he just keeps having
I reckon
games.
I reckon he'll be sitting second. I think it'll be Dawson leading, Dacos second, and then I'd say Baz or Sarong. Even maybe an Ed Richards would be up there, but I'm not as hot as what everyone else thinks with Bailey Smith being up there. He gets the ball, but he doesn't utter with it. So I don't think that he's going to be sitting around the mark as what people are really thinking. But no, Dawson's been hot. I think Dawson will be leading it, but Dacos won't be too far behind. So I think we're in a pretty good spot there.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
tend to agree with the comments Baz, but also remember that the umpires are just going to see him get the ball, and that's why I kind of hate the Brownlow, because of how it is voted on by umpires. I don't necessarily think that's the best way to do it, because I tend to agree with Shrimp with the Baz calls. He doesn't actually do that much with the ball fairly often. He's definitely more impactful than some of the accumulators that we've seen, but it's Tom Mitchell didn't actually do that much with the ball and still won a Brownlow, because umpires just see him with ball in hand, and if you hang around the ball a lot, they're going to notice you more than someone that's actually impacting but only has 20 touches kind of vibe. So
yeah, it'll be an interesting count. I think for the first time in a while, I'll genuinely be invested in the count and who's leading. With obviously, it helps that Dawson's up there, but it just feels like this is going to be an interesting count, because there's a number of players. Rather than last year it was Dacos is out in front, here's to lose by a long way. This year you've got probably a 3 or 4 way chase for it, which will be encouraging. Rising star wise, we were very Essendon orientated. Dom, you said Nate Caddy. Dill said Nate Caddy or Langford, and I said Kako. Well, I think we can put a line through mine, because that's not going to happen. But Nate Caddy, probably an outsider. He's getting glazed by the whole AFL media for the last couple of weeks, which is pretty disgusting to watch, but that's all right. And Langford's looking pretty decent for you, Dill. I mean, it's going to be hard to go past Levi, but he's looking okay.
Yeah, I think League of Levi Ashcroft is. Well, we don't. Archie Roberts probably the only real danger, but yeah, Langford, Caddy weren't bad calls. They've been playing some good footy. Caddy the last few weeks has really shown what he can do. But no, I think Ashcroft is pretty well home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Dom, how about you? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, similar. I think it's Ashcroft's to lose at this point. Caddy's been good, but not quite at the level. Well, not for long enough anyway. Like his last few weeks have been pretty good. But I think that glazing from the media has gone a bit far. But yeah, similar to Shrimp, I think it's definitely Ashcroft's to lose. And I have a soft spot for Melbourne because my dad's a Melbourne supporter, and seeing Harvey Langford do well has been nice. But yeah, I don't think he's near it either yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, nah, absolutely. Next up on the run sheet, we have our top 8, but we realised for some reason between episode 1 and 2 we didn't get Dom's top 8. So we're going to skip the top 8, I reckon, and we might just go through the Crows' back end of the season and predict maybe premiers from there. So, with the run home, we're currently sitting 4th with a record of 9 wins and 5 losses. Let's jump through the games individually and give a win-loss. So, Richmond away next week. Dom, win or loss?
That's a very tentative win. I'm nervous, but we should win.
It's got all the makings of an Adelaide Crows typical performance, doesn't it? It's a bit scary, coming off the bye, game we should win.
Nervous, man. Nervous. But back him in. We'll be fine.
100%. Dyl, how about you? That's right, you go, Dom.
I just don't think it's going to be as comfortable as we want it to be.
Yeah. It should be, realistically, we should be coming out next week and winning by 10 goals. As simple as that. It should be an absolute pumping.
100%. But like I said, I don't know. I got a weird feeling.
Yeah. Nah. Well, let's hope that weird feeling doesn't come to fruition. And it's just a nice
I fucking hope not. But
see how we go. Dyl, what are your thoughts versus Richmond next week?
Yeah, we'll get up. So I'm not worried at all, really.
Plain and simply. The week after we play Melbourne at home, which is we should probably win that as well, I would suggest. Dyl, what about you?
What was what game is it? Sorry,
Melbourne at home.
Melbourne at home. I should get up, but I think it's going to be that should be a really good game of footy. I think it's the Sunday afternoon, isn't it? As well?
Yeah, yep, 2:50 Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, no, it should be a good game of footy, but I reckon we'll get up.
Beautiful. Dom, how about you?
This one's hard to predict because you don't know whether or not you're getting the 2021 Ds or the 2024 Ds. So, I'll back us in to win, especially at home. But yeah, I think Shrimp's pretty accurate. I reckon it'll be a good game of footy, and we'll go over the line.
Yeah, back him in, absolutely. This game could be an absolute cracker the week after Melbourne. The Dogs away at Marvel Stadium. Thank God we're not going to that shithole of Ballarat. We're going to Marvel instead.
Yeah.
Who have you got in that one, Dom? You reckon we get the win there?
I'm praying to God because I am taking my girlfriend to her first game in Melbourne, and it's that one. So, realistically, it's going to be real close. Dogs play well under the roof, as well documented, but the Crows tragic in me says we'll find a way to win. The footy fan in me says the Dogs probably just get us, but I'll back us in.
Yeah,
very tentatively.
Nah, 100%. I'm pondering this one because it's my birthday weekend as well. I'm like, do I make the effort to go over there and risk spoiling the whole weekend with a loss, or do I just watch it at home with the pub and just get drunk if we lose? It's
yeah,
tough.
That is the question.
Dyl, what about you? Win or loss against the Dogs?
I'm gonna go L here. I think they'll think they might be a little bit too strong just away from home at Marvel under the roof. Really worried about Darcy against Keane or Butts. Well, Murray should be back by then, but yeah, a little bit worried about that game. Hopefully get the dub, but I think we might walk away with a bit of a tough loss.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because the Dogs play Marvel so well. It's hard to go in there and beat them at any time, and I think we might see an example of that in about 10 minutes when they take on the Tigers. It could be a belting. Obviously, I don't think we won't stoop to that sort of level, but yeah, they play Marvel really well. Moving on from there, we have the Suns at home. This will be a fiery clash after our first one. We can be sure of that. At home, I'm backing us in to get the win there. The Suns don't typically travel well. Have they won at Adelaide Oval? Did they beat Port, maybe?
No, they have not won at Adelaide Oval yet.
Never won at Adelaide Oval. Well, hopefully that continues from there. Dom, you backing us in for a win or a loss? The Suns are up and about a bit at the moment, but...
Nah, they won't come. Not at home. If it was up there, I'd be a bit worried. But they don't travel well, and we almost pipped them at home. So I'll definitely back us in to get the job done.
Yep.
I think it'll be a cracking game of footy because I don't think they're a bad side. I think they're quite good. But if we're going to take the year seriously, it's one of those games that we just need to win. We can't afford to drop it, I don't think.
Yeah, tend to agree. Dyl, how about you? Suns at home?
Should win. Should get up. I don't think we should have lost when we played them away from home. So hopefully walk away with a win and get a game clear of them. Or no, sorry, they're about to win, aren't they? Are they about to win? Are they up?
A couple of goals up.
Yeah. Look, that's going to be pretty. It's going to be a massive game for the four, I think. Because we're both sitting around the mark, but we should get up.
Yep, yeah, tend to agree. And our other mate, Dill Carey, we'll have him here, have him on the hill, and I fear for our safety if we lose, so we need to back in for a win. Next game is the home showdown. I mean, we can't really predict this with any sort of confidence because a showdown's a showdown, but, we'll take the win if we can against Port, I would say.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where on paper and on form right now, we should be pumping them by 10 goals. But again, like you said, it's a showdown. So they're very hard to predict, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Dill, how about you?
Hopefully get a win. But yeah, this is a real 50-50. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we end a stretch of 3 games at home by taking on the Hawks. Now that should be a cracking game based on what we saw last week, but I think we're probably good enough to get the win. It'll be, I think it's a Friday night as well, so it'll be a big stage, massive game against the Hawks. Really, probably going to shape the top 4 pretty crucially at that stage. I'll back us in for a win because I think we probably should have won last week. If we can bring the same sort of game and get on top of them like we did, should get the win. Dom?
Yeah, I agree. It's at home, which again, it sucks making that excuse, but I think if that game was anywhere but Tasmania, we would have won, and I think we'll show that at home. I'm not sold on Hawthorn. I still think they're so hit and miss that we should easily get it done.
Yeah, tend to agree. And Dill, how about you?
Sorry, I zoned out. I was on mute. Mum just got home.
No, you're right. We're talking about Hawks at home.
That's going to be another toughie. Look, hopefully we get some decent conditions, not some dog shit Tassie conditions here. So, hopefully show them, what it's like to play some decent football at a decent ground and get the win because that's going to be another huge one for the ladder and how it ends up. So I'll go with the Crows win.
Absolutely. We won't even talk about the next game, Eagles away. I'm assuming we'll be pretty around the table, an easy win for that one. Another big one at home, round 22, Pies at home. This is, I think, our chance to break this streak somehow. It's been, by that stage, it would have almost been 10 years since we beat them. We take on the Pies on, I think it's a Saturday night. So again, another big stage. Top of the ladder. They could have top spot sealed up by then, to be perfectly honest, and it might not even be a full-strength Collingwood, but I think we can finally break this streak, and I feel like this is us just saying that we can win every single game, but that's all right. I think Pies at home, obviously it's a 50-50 game. It's Collingwood at the end of the day, but would be nice to finally break the streak. Dill, how about you?
Oh, look, if we're ever going to break it, I think this would be the one. Yeah, I'm not even gonna have a crack at this because I'm not going to be very confident going into it being the Pies, but big stage, round 23. Yeah, look, I'm not even gonna predict anything. Yeah, we won't go in as favourites. Well, I'll put it that way. But hopefully get a win and really cement a place in the top four. But I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'd be good because if looking at it, at the very least, you'd think we win West Coast away. If we can beat the Pies at home and then roll on to North away and get a win, that'd be some really nice momentum going into September. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Dom, how about you?
Yeah, man, I think Shrimp kind of hit the nail on the head there. It's you really hope so, and we have probably the best chance at beating them in a few years because, like you said, it wouldn't shock me if they have top spot wrapped up and they go in slightly undermanned. Um, but even if not, I think it's going to be such a big stage. Like for us, they'll probably be top four on the line. Um, Again, it's one of those games where if we're serious, we'll get over the top, but it's very hard to see it happening.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. It's always hard against the Pies, so we'll see. You know, a lot can happen between now and then as well, between injuries and all sorts of stuff. So we'll see how we go, but hope for a win there. And then North Melbourne away in round 24 probably hinges on a bit of our ladder position. If we're in a position where we're fortunate enough to have wrapped up a final spot or a top four spot or something like that, then who knows what team goes across. But
Yeah,
we're probably going to be in the race for around that top four, so we probably do need to get a win in this game, which I can't wait for all of the, you need to win by X amount of points to get to this position.
yeah, I
It's
can't
going to
wait
be
for
the
that.
hardest watch.
Can't wait to need to win by 48 points to make top four, and we win by 46 or something. It's gonna be great.
It would be such a Crows game.
Yeah,
Such a Crows moment. I think the only positive about it is there's only one real game with teams around us that week that could change it. So Brisbane also play Hawthorn that week. Obviously, second and fifth at the moment. They could be around the mark. And the Suns will have two games in the space of a couple of days, given they'll need to make up for their opening round fixture. But yeah, you'd imagine it's probably a win. You'd probably go to Melbourne and smack the Roos up a little bit, you'd think.
yeah, it'll be good for the confidence going, especially if we come short. That Pies win, I think we'll probably go there and just beat up on them just to get the confidence back up, kind of thing. Because I think, especially if the Pies do us in, or if it's real close again and we go down by under a goal again, I think we'll need something, and I think that North game will probably be a good chance to kind of get back on the winners board, and because there's got to be a little bit of mental stuff going on with the Collingwood games because it's been such a theme for the last for 4 years now, I want to say, where it's been quite focused.
Yep.
There's got to be a little bit of a mental struggle there. So, but hopefully
Yeah.
it won't even be an issue and we'll beat them anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, see how we roll into it. You've got us beating North, I would assume.
Yeah, should beat North as they had a bit of a win yesterday, but it was against the mighty Carlton. But, I think we'll be all right. We should win away from home, and I think there's going to be a fair bit riding on it. So, we'll get up. We'll get up.
Yep, 100%. So that would leave us, for me, with the predictions, with 15 to 16 wins. I've got the Port list as a 50-50 sort of game, and we're all pretty similar as well. 15 or 16 wins with 7 or 8 losses. That probably sees us on the verge of the top 4. Where do you boys reckon we finish in the end? I reckon I'd probably go in third or fourth for mine.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at my predicted ladder now, and I've got us sitting at third on 17 and 6. I think lose 2 more games. I think I've got
Yeah, probably Dogs and the Pies.
Dogs and Pies. I've got us losing now.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very fair. I think that's probably the most accurate looking the most neutral way
Should
of looking at
happen.
it. Yeah, is
Yeah.
probably the Dogs and the Pies will go down. But even then, that puts us in the top 4. I'd say I can't see us finishing lower than 6th, worst case scenario. And then I reckon third's probably the ceiling at the moment. because I think
Yeah.
Brisbane and Collingwood will be stiff to give up a few more games.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's probably almost a best of the rest sort of situation there, but plenty to happen, plenty to play out for the rest of the season, and we'll see how we go. Like we mentioned earlier, of course, we'll touch back on these again at the end of the season, but for now, let's jump into next week. As we said, we're taking on Richmond at the MCG on Sunday afternoon. Obviously, bye week this week, lost to the Hawks last week. Can we see any changes to the squad, Dom? Who do you reckon? Anyone coming in, anyone going out?
I want no. You two right now. Who's coming out of the side, lads?
I would suggest El Pedler maybe making
Oh,
his
who would have
way out
thought?
of the side.
Who would have thought?
You did call it. Did call it a
Shrimp,
couple of weeks
you
ago.
got anything to say, bro?
I've got nothing to say to you. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's convenient, isn't it? I was slandered for bringing up him getting dropped after the Brisbane game. And I got told, oh, no, he played his role well. He was fine. He's not going to get dropped. And then he has one of the biggest stinkers I've ever seen in my life against Hawks. And then you two, you can't even stand on business for more than a week. You immediately call to drop him. I can't believe it. Especially considering you knew that I wasn't going to be there to defend myself. See, and ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a shrimp moment.
Sook. Shut up,
Yeah, man. It's all good, bro.
pussy.
Let it be known that I was disrespected, and then they both agreed with my point of view less than a week later.
Oh no, he played. You know, he didn't play a great game. So he said, "Yeah, okay."
I said,
maybe time to have a conversation.
no. I said he was going to play a bad game. I said I don't like it. He's not good, and he shouldn't be in the side. And you both went, "No, back him in. He'll be fine." Lo and behold, he played a stinker.
Oh, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the most shrimp response I could have expected from that. Thanks, bro.
Oh, whatever. Wanker.
Just crash out. He's,
Yeah, keep crying, bro. Keep crying.
Yeah, whatever. That's you right now, dude.
Yeah, all right, man. All I need is an apology, bro. Just a simple sorry.
You're not getting shit. You piss me off.
Yep, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why I'm saying
Crash out's
ladies, as
lit.
if there's a single female that listens to this, but
I reckon we had a we got a decent. Oh, Darcy just kicked a goal. He's going to kick 11. I reckon we've got a pretty decent female listener base. So thank you very much. Don't be disrespectful, Dominic.
that was no disrespect intended. The only disrespect here is you to me right now.
Whatever.
All right, we move. So
Hang
Pedler
on,
potentially on the way out.
So hang on, I just need some final confirmation. Dylan, is Luke Pedler going to be dropped?
No.
Oh, all right, bro. That's insane. Oh. Right, at least,
It's interesting because I mean it's probably between him and Murphy with who goes out for James Peatling. So,
he cannot stay in the side. I'm so sorry.
Murphy would go out because we would have gone unchanged if Peatling wasn't a moron and dumped someone on his head again.
Yeah, but like it wasn't like jokes aside. Pedler was terrible. Like jokes, like I'm gonna say it again. Jokes aside, I'm not trying to rehash what we just went through, but Pedler was not good. He got subbed out on 3 disposals. I'm pretty sure. I do not see a way. 5 touches. Sorry, I just can't see it happening. I don't think. I never thought I'd say this, but I don't actually think Murph deserves to be dropped when Pedler was playing.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems to be the theme of these senior guys coming in and then going straight back out. And I don't think Murph had a good enough game. I mean, he had a slightly better game than Pedler, but I don't think he had that much better of a game to be able to put a clear difference between them.
I'll get slandered for this, and I know it, but I'm willing to. I'll cop it. I would rather Sid get AFL time and play Pedler's role than Pedler play it right now. That is how off him I am.
Yeah, I don't know because we've seen Pedler play the role. I mean, Draper play the role a few times earlier.
He
in
was
the
good.
year.
I don't think he ever warranted. I think the only reason he lost that role is because Rash came back into the side.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I love Pedler as much as I slander him. I do. I think he's a good footballer, and it's not going to shock me if he asks for a trade and then he goes somewhere else and plays a role more suited to him, and he turns into a great footballer. It's just a thing of I feel like he's kind of wasted in that role, and it's not. I don't think he wants to play it, and I don't know, man. I just don't think he's. I don't think he's it. I don't think he's in the side if we make finals, and I think I'd rather Sid playing in finals than I would him. I'm just not. I'm off of him at the moment. I just can't. I cannot see him playing well against good sides. Obviously, if he plays against Richmond, I think he'll have a good game. He'll probably have 10 and kick 2, but
Yeah.
that's the issue. I don't want him in the side just to beat up on these average teams, and then we play a side like Hawthorn and he has 5 touches.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's probably my main issue, I think. But I've just slandered him for 2 minutes straight, so I won't say any more. But
Nah, I see where you're coming from. I just don't think, like I said, I don't think the gap between him and Murph is big enough to warrant. So if Murph had 20 and kick 2 last week against Hawthorn, I'd be saying, yeah, of course, it's pretty clear cut. But, we've seen what Murph brings to the table. I'm willing, especially considering we're playing Richmond this week, I think I'm willing to give Pedler 1 more week just to get his groove going.
that's probably fair.
And just work his way into the team a bit more, rather than, we've got Murph, we know what we're getting with Murph. So I'd probably rather see Pedler play this weekend, have a good game, rather than.
I think if I had to pick one or the other, I'm gonna pick Pedler.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'd almost rather Sid just come in and play that role as of right now. But realistically, that's probably not the best thing for him, and it's probably not the best thing for the club either. So I don't think it'll happen. So yeah, you're probably right. But I swear to God, if Pedler has another stinker against Richmond, I'm gonna need like a 5-minute segment next week.
A stand-up business cow would say he's not playing.
I don't think he will, but I think the point Ben made is fair that if one of them is going to get dropped, it'll probably be Murph. But I will absolutely stand on business. I don't think he should be playing. But I'm not on the selection panel, so.
No, you're not, pussy.
Neither are you, pussy. Oh, dude, Chase Jones is going to play. I swear to God, bro.
Yeah,
Please believe me, bro.
Suck my ass.
Dude, I swear to God, bro. Please,
Bailey's,
bro.
Fucking Brody Smith out, Charlie Edwards in. That happens. So, thanks.
I would love that to happen, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, and it will happen. Fucking, you think Pedler's going out, so your opinion does not matter here.
Mate, you thought Chase Jones was going to play a week ago. You can't. Don't chat to me. Don't chat to me. Don't chat to me.
Whatever. Don't at me. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Are you standing on business that Charlie Edwards will come in for Brody Smith?
Yeah, if he does, I will get CE tattooed on me.
Alright, sold.
Just some live news here for you from the games going on at the moment. The Giants have hit the front. So that Suns win is not banked in by any means. They've kicked about 3 goals in 5 minutes to hit the front there, so that's good.
Jesus. I mean, good, but...
Yeah, interesting.
Proves our point re Suns choking away from home as well, I guess.
100%, absolutely. So we've probably set either Murphy or Pedler out for Peatling and then potentially Brody Smith for Charlie Edwards. Do we think that we bring in Charlie? There's obviously no SANFL again this week, and I saw a tweet the other day about how ridiculous our schedule is in the SANFL with buys and state games and everything in between. Do we bring him in with no game this week?
I probably... I would actually... Not just for Shrimp's tattoo, but in general, I'd love to see him play, but... No, purely because it's against Richmond and it's away from home. I don't think he'll play.
Yeah.
If it was in Adelaide, I think he'd have a much better chance, but I don't think there's any point in debuting a kid against Richmond at the MCG when they should be not penciling in a win, but they should be going in like. I just don't. I don't think there's a point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to the fact about the SANFL fixturing, let's go for the last 6 weeks. So May 10th we played Port, then we had a week off for the state game, then we played Sturt, then we had a bye, then we played South Central's week off again, and then next week we played North. So we've had 3 byes in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's not ideal for these blokes that are trying to crack into the AFL side, and it's probably a good thing for the likes of El Pedler, who are holding their spot, because there's no one to take it off of him.
Yeah, no, it is a bit like that
Murphy,
at the
apparently. But
no, it's a bit like that at the moment. It's just very strange. Like, I just don't understand why they've got so many byes. For us particularly,
the SANFL fixture's always been a bit odd, but that's a real grim run. Yeah, having 3 weeks off in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not ideal, is it? Fucking hell.
Yeah, like obviously you get the state game and then maybe one more bye, but then we had the bye, then played 2 games, then had another bye, and it just doesn't really make much sense to me. But that's
you got to keep the SANFL stakeholders happy, I guess. Keep us out of the of the SANFL for as long as they can.
No AFL in the SANFL.
Facts, dude. Facts.
So we'll go on to our predictions for next week. So, Dom, firstly, who wins and how much, and how many goals does Filth kick? We'll go with that as our unique stat.
I'll go us comfortably. I'll set the line at, I'm going to say 8 goals. And Filth will kick 5. Yeah,
Beautiful.
5. Yeah, I'll stay 5. I was trying to think about the matchups. I think 5, yeah.
Yeah. And Dyl, how about you?
Crows buy whatever they want. Filth will pick 6 or 7. I've just asked ChatGPT of what the ins and outs are going to be for next week.
Oh, here
And
we go.
they've said that Nick Murray, Sid Draper, Charlie Edwards, and Billy Dowling come in.
Ooh, I forgot.
Oh, dude.
And that no one goes out. So we're actually going to be playing with 26.
Dude, if they were the ins, I would. Dude, we completely forgot Murray will actually be back. So Butts probably goes out.
Butts goes out.
Yeah.
Butts goes out. I nearly called him Mutts. Butts.
Yeah, Butts will go out for Murray. That's a handy change.
He's now known as Mutts.
Mutts, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's probably about right. I think, for me, the sports bet have got the line set at 50 points. I think, realistically, we went and beat Essendon over at the MCG by 12 goals earlier this year. We should be winning this.
We should absolutely beat up on them, but...
Yeah, fresh off a break, just start the second half of the season off right.
Yeah.
Go over there and win by 70-odd points. I think Phil's probably, like you guys, 5 or 6 goals. He should be getting on the end of 100%. And, just get the second half of the season rolling, just on a good note, hopefully.
Yeah.
Other than that, anything else you boys want to touch on?
No.
No, I said my piece. I'm good now.
Yeah, coward.
Yeah, keep crying, bro.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's you right now, dude.
Yeah, right, man. Keep telling yourself that.
Freak.
All right, well, proper classics this week we'll have up on Thursday morning. We're throwing it back to 2015 in a big Friday night game. A Dangerfield classic, kicked a great goal in the third quarter, maybe to celebrate his 350th game, just gone on the weekend. Tomorrow night we'll be having an interview with Matt Samet, or you may know him as the Sax Man from the pre-games at Adelaide Oval. I'm not sure when we'll release that, but I'm doing the interview tomorrow night, or a couple of us are doing the interview tomorrow night, so that'll be out sometime this week, so stay tuned for that. Of course, keep an eye at Proper Crows Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to stay up with all the news, all the interviews, all the videos, everything that goes up. And other than that, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Dom, for joining today.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure.
Indeed, and thank you, Dyl.
No worries, mate. All good.
All good, and we will speak to you all very soon.
Go
They are.
Crows.
Ring the bell! Ring the bell! The bell in the city of churches! Stand up like Matthew Nicks and rule like you never have before!
Jarman again, round the body. That'll do. Oh, that will do.